Welcome back, friends. I'm Annabelle, and I'm here to read. Every week, first we read a piece of classic literature together, and then we talk about it. If you would like to follow along, down in the video description box, along with other source links and a link to the author's biography, there is a copy of a free ebook. Tonight, we are reading Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tumtum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy! O frabjous day, callooh, callay! He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrabe. The end. So before we get into the discussion portion where we actually discuss the work, I have a couple of business channel things to discuss with y'all. One is that I'm trialing putting out a schedule for the upcoming month so that you guys know what to expect and roughly when. I kind of wanted to do a schedule thing, both to kind of keep me on track and to let you know what's coming, but I'm already behind schedule because my daughter was sick last week, so we'll see how that goes. That kind of leads into, I'm also trialing a Google form, because I know some of you have, requests and you put those in the comments, and that's fantastic, but this will hopefully help me be a little bit more organized and also get some information from y'all that I think would be nice, like if you're a teacher, and I have linked that down below in case you're curious. I've been trying to avoid the spooky, scary ghosts and stuff niche because there's so many just really, really good narrators doing that content already on YouTube, and I don't want to step on their toes. It seems really strange to say oh, you read that story? I'm gonna read that story now. But I've been planning for Scary Month forever. We'll see how that works out. So, alright, so back to the actual thing that we came here to do. Alright, so Jabberwocky was part of Lewis Carroll's 1871 novel, Alice Through the Looking Glass. And a looking glass is a mirror, and as all of us know from mirror selfies, when you look in a mirror, everything is backwards, everything is reversed, everything is, mirrored. Alice in Wonderland by itself is kind of a fantastical sort of thing. It uses all kinds of what was pop culture references at the time and smashes them together into this one universe. It's kind of like Kingdom Hearts, but not. So Jabberwocky was in a book that Alice couldn't read until she held it up to a looking glass. It was printed backwards, so she held it up to a looking glass. And then, even then, it was intentionally nonsense. And this is the genre, I guess, that Jabberwocky is nonsense poetry. And it's funny because some nonsense poetry is so normalized at this point that we just say the non-words and keep it rolling because that's just how it goes. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. Hickory dickory dock. Usually with nonsense poetry, it almost always rhymes, and that kind of serves both to kind of make it a cohesive work instead of pure nonsense, but also it makes it very easy, relatively speaking, on the writer. You could just kind of make up a word to go in there. What rhymes with orange? Schmorange, obviously. So through the text of the book, some of the words are actually explained. Actually, Humpty Dumpty explains a lot of them. Some of them are portmanteaus, like he says the slithy borogroves, I think it was. And slithy is a portmanteau of slimy and lithe, like a snake, but yucky. One of the words that Humpty Dumpty explains that I was actually kind of let down by is when they say, "'twas brillig." I got the sense that it was describing, the time, the setting. So I thought it was one of those cold mornings between fall and winter when it's like frosty outside, but it's not quite winter yet and everything's just very crisp and a little bit misty. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that. Brillig is the time when you start making dinner. That's when brillig is. And to me, that's kind of a letdown because it's a very mundane kind of explanation for something in this fantastical poem. But I just kind of get the sense that because this is kind of still tethered to English to some degree, it feels the same, but also that kind of twist of the Through the Looking Glass. It's the same, but it's different. You can kind of tell what it's supposed to mean, even if you don't know what the words are. And that really lends to this sense of otherworldliness in a way that Humpty Dumpty coming through and then all of a sudden saying, you know what it actually means, kind of takes away from it for me. Maybe I'm just into the whole postmodern deconstructionism kind of thing, but I really don't like it when it's explained to me. I don't know, I just like the vibe of trying to figure it out for myself, Maybe I just like doing things the hard way. It's gonna be a real fun October, y'all. If you, like me, are incredibly excited for all the scary stuff that's gonna happen this month, make sure to subscribe before you go, because I cannot wait for next week's work of classic literature. I hope to see you then. Ooh.